How's that? There are a lot of important issues facing our country today. We have a debt that threatens our children and our grandchildren and their future. We have an economy that isn't producing jobs. And we have the threat of radical Islam, which is the greatest national security threat to this country in a long time, maybe ever. But today I want to focus on an issue that's always important. And that issue is the sanctity of life. I think this is an appropriate forum to do that. I brought this with me because it talks so much about the purpose of this organization and an issue that I hope unites us all as Americans and as Christians. Christian Family Coalition is the only national pro-life, pro-family organization founded by a minority, Hispanic, American, and lay person. Pro-life. Let's talk about what that issue means today. In 1970, let's talk about what it means from the beginning of our country. Our nation, its very inception, was based on the Declaration of Independence that recognized that every single human being has unalienable rights that come from their Creator. Among those rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And think about how the Declaration was written. Life was first. You know why? Because without life, there is no liberty. And without life, you cannot pursue happiness. That is the foundations of our nation. And from that has emerged the greatest society in all of human history. But in 1973, the Supreme Court of the United States made a ruling. It's a case called Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade said that in America there is a constitutional right to have abortion. Basically what it says is that in America, the only people who do not have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are those who have not yet been born. And the results have been horrifying. 50 million abortions since 1973. 1 million unborn children were aborted just last year. Now here's why I'm pointing this out to you. We live in a time where people love to ascribe labels to themselves. And it's easy in politics to just have the labels ascribed to you. But here's the bottom line. If you do not believe that Roe v. Wade should be overturned, you are not pro-life. If you don't understand that that is the consequential, singular event that has created this catastrophe in America, you are not pro-life. And I say this to you understanding full well what that means. I know what this speech here today means. I know this is a receptive audience to this message. But polls tell us that half the American people disagree with me on this issue. I know that there are people out there today, maybe even this audience, who agree with me on every other issue, but because of my position on this one, will not vote for me. I understand the political difficulties of it. I also understand it's a topic that makes people uncomfortable. And so listen, I've never met anyone who's admitted to being pro-abortion. Everyone says they're personally against abortion. But this is an issue about what the law of this country should be. There are some that say, well, I'm pro-choice because I believe in a mother's right to choose. I am not pro-life because I want to deny rights to anyone, but because I want to protect the rights of unborn children that cannot speak for themselves.